Boom. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Byron Rogers here. Just a few notes about the Protector Symposium. What'd you guys miss, really? I think what was most amazing about the Protector Symposium was simply that it felt like a place for protectors. I don't want to say it felt like family, like everyone tries to say that about things, but this really felt like a place where protectors can come together no matter what their background, no matter whether they're law enforcement, whether they're private security professionals, whether they're responsible citizens, moms, fathers. We just kind of got beyond the vocations and the backgrounds and the, different groups that we're all a part of. And we just spent time with people who want to learn how to be better at protection. And I think that's really what was special about it, because it felt like a group, it felt like a family. It's all about being the Protector Nation. What is the Protector Nation? It's the demographic that exists within every nation that is there to protect, that is there to keep the peace and maintain order. It's the people that have agreed to bring on scene accountability to environments when evil wants to rear its ugly head. And the Protector Symposium was a place that was really all about that for everyone there, no matter where you are in your private security career, where you are in your law enforcement career, where you are, whether you're there for familial reasons to protect your family and loved ones. I think that was really what was beautiful about it. I deliberately chose individuals to present who had the ability to give the attendees information that could make them better protectors right there on the spot. So the whole goal was for us to spend this time together, network, fellowship, and that was the funny thing. Like, we had a great time. Like, people had a great time. People were hanging. We had a mixer the first night. It was so good. Like, everyone had such a good time. It was so positive that Christian West and Ant Solutions decided to throw it again the second night. And then I'm walking out after the second night, like the second day. We've been with each other for 2 full days, and everyone's partying in the lobby, and then they're partying down at the bottom of the stairs. And then we have to make an announcement, hey, go to the nearest another restaurant because we can't congregate here. Like, people just didn't want it to end because it was so positive and everyone was so accepted. In the beginning, I kind of talked about how really the principles that the Protector Nation is born from and is founded on is just that protection, I believe, is one of the highest forms of service, is one of the highest expressions of love. No greater love than this, that a man would lay down his life for his brother. That's protection. That's protection in a nutshell. It's one of the highest forms of service that you can render to another human being, to stand between them and any kind of danger or any kind of evil. I think it's a sacred thing. It's a sacred practice. It's a sacred discipline, no matter how you want to do it. And I just wanted to honor everyone who was there, the people who showed up and the people who buy the product, and the people who devote portions of their life to protection. I want to honor them, and that's really what it's all about. I wanted to validate them, as the type of people who will spend their money and their time to go to a place to learn about this sacred art, this act of service, this expression of love that we know as protection. And so that's really was the foundational conversation. That was the foundational conversation for the entire meeting. And from there, we just went up, we went up and up and up. We had Mike Pannone take the stage, and Mike Pannone's just straight up. He's a boss. He's old school. He's a rock. I hand him the microphone, and he looks down at, he looks over at me. So he gets on stage, he leans over to me. He's like, I think this is what I'm going to cover right here. And he's got like 13 bullet points on his cell phone. I'm sitting there looking at this guy, and I'm like, Mike, bro, like, you got 3.5 hours of presentation time. Like, I love you, man. Like, you're going to do that off of like 13 bullet points? And he's like, totally got it. I'm going to do this piece. He's like, boom, easy. And it's just Mike. Like, that's why I titled the episode I did with Mike, Just Mike, because the reality is, like, the man has built himself by the grace of God to a place where he can count on himself, and people and other people can count on him. Not in one moment in my mind did I not know I could count on Mike. You know what I mean? Through this whole entire first live event that I did. So he gets up there, he shows me, I got like 13 bullet points. That's all I need. Gets up there, he's like, I don't do PowerPoint. If I want you to look up at the screen, I'll put something up there, but really I want you to be paying attention to me. We're gonna have a conversation about CCW dynamics and operations. Kills it, goes through and talks the full 3.5 hours. Everyone's engaged, he hits these bullet points, but he knows them so well organically because he's lived it so much of his life. The dude's been a warrior for over 30 years. And he's been teaching and instructing warriors. Kills it, no PowerPoint, engaged the whole time. The whole crowd is like at the edge of their seats. He does these question and answer periods throughout the whole entire thing. People are all asking questions. How often do you get an opportunity to sit there and bounce questions back and forth with a guy who's been a recon Marine, a Green Beret, and a guy from the unit, a Delta Force operator, and done a number of different other things like stand up the Air Marshal program, and a number of different things. Like, how often do you get to really just run questions by him to find out if what you're thinking is crazy or if it's on point? That's what the symposium was about, a meeting of the minds, all about protection operations. So he runs through his bit, and he's just him, a microphone, and knowledge, man. Drop in straight knowledge. I can't wait. If you guys haven't gotten the replay, I can't wait to get it to you because you're just not going to find this type of content anywhere else. Mike Pannone is not in this format anywhere else that I'm aware of. So the content is just so rich, and that's, it's an honor to have every single one of these speakers in the game. And then after that, honestly, the biggest problem I had for the symposium was simply being able to figure out how to effectively give away all the free stuff. We got so much support from the industry and from different companies with regards to free stuff and contributions and things to give away that I really like. Coming up with systems to get stuff out to the protectors was one of the most complicated things. So we did a bunch of raffles in between everything, just gave stuff out to the crowd. Everyone who came got hooked up just between the swag bags. You get home and you get 3 certificates, one from each one of the instructors on the content that you went through. That's useful in a lot of different ways, especially if you're a working professional, to take back to your chain of command or your detail leader or your client or, whoever or whatever, or if you're just an everyday civilian, still put it in your training jacket. You know what I'm saying? If you do have to go physical or you do have to use some force option, at least it shows that you have some training. And you have some continued training. You're not just some dude who got a CCW and now you're in a shoot and your competency is going to be much less questioned if it shows that you have continuing training. So those aspects of the symposium are truly amazing, And then next we have Yosef Badu get on platform, and he is a very polished, very good presenter, and he's just really good at public speaking. It's his thing. He's comfortable up there. He's rolling with everything. His content is extremely rich within understanding pre-threat indicators, understanding your mindset, teaching people how they should be thinking. Like one of the things he said, he's like, I want you to walk out of here with some traits of a serial killer. It's like, whoa, what do you mean? How do you mean? And he teaches you how to think like a predator. What are the positive things about thinking like a predator? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to make good people more dangerous. So his whole presentation then transforms you from being a sheep, a person who just has like a situational awareness, a level of situational awareness that's really not capable of really truly understanding dangerous human behavior. Because most people don't have very much exposure to it. Unless you grew up in the hood or you've been in a combat zone or maybe you work in a beat, you start to get an IQ for it. But a lot of people never get trained on how to recognize dangerous, like pre-threat indicators, dangerous human behavior, dangerous crowd behavior, and different things like this. And so when you really start to understand that, and you can read someone's limbic system and you can tell what their subconscious mind is telling them, or wow, you can start picking up clusters of behavior and nervous tics and habits and words, and the way that they're acting can really key you in to understand, hey, I need to get ready to kick off that TY axis fight or flight reflex. Like, I don't want to get flooded, but there might be something that's about to go down right now. And as good guys, we don't pick the time and place very often, So to be able to see that there's some heat coming around the corner and maybe even pick the time and place in terms of, the tools you'll use to maintain the peace, it's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing. And this stuff that Yosef is teaching, the stuff that Mike Pannone is teaching, the stuff that Ed Calderon was teaching, this stuff has saved lives, So Yosef goes in there and his presentation is it's amazing. We move through the first day. We give away a whole bunch of stuff. It was awesome to be able to do that and to contribute to the protectors in the area. And then we go and we have this mixer. And the mixer was really, truly a really good time. I just loved sitting there, hanging with folks, meeting everyone, shaking everyone's hands, signed a few books, just really getting to know the people that came. We had people that came from Norway, multiple people that came from Norway and like Sweden and Europe and the East Coast. A lot of folks came from the East Coast. Like this event was international. There's about, like 250 people in a room, international protectors. For the very first one, you better believe next year's gonna be amazing. Next year's gonna be off of the hook. We're blowing it up next year. Think about what the world's gonna be like. Why should good people fear evil people? Think about if we can make this a movement. We can get this information out to everybody. Get more people to become part of the protector nation, the nation of protectors that's inside every nation that's here to protect. It was just amazing to spend time with everyone and fellowship with everyone at that first mixer. And I thank deep, heartfelt thank you to AS Solutions and Christian West for bringing that to us as a brand and as a community of protectors. The second day, we hit the ground running. Boom. First thing in the morning, we got Ed Calderon, tearing it up. And he talked about a lot of things having to do with Mexico, but not just having to do with Mexico. Really kind of showed us how a lot of the things going on down there aren't just a Mexican problem. It's actually a regional issue because, we're multi-generations deep of cartel here in America. And a lot of the counter custody considerations are becoming more and more relevant as we're seeing more and more of these cartel-centric these cartel types of incidents happening north of the border in America. So understanding really like that, hey, these are the types of things that we're seeing more often and that are coming and that are on the rise here that our children may have to deal with, our children's children may have to deal with. Understanding those types of things so you're not blindsided by them, I think is extremely helpful. Teaching people, he did a great piece on surveillance detection, a great piece on counter custody, a great piece on weaponology. It was just a great assortment of how to be a harder target. Let's take this gazelle and let's give it some horns, maybe give it some teeth. The people who were there really appreciated his portion and walked out of there a little bit smarter, a little bit more dangerous, able to just change behavior, change habits, change ways of thinking to become more efficient and effective protectors. So Ed's piece is always very high gravity. I mean, I say that to say that it's like a lot of reality for a lot of people to take in, and it's very shocking. It's very eye-opening. And then Ed's like quasi stand-up comedian. So, he was ultra captivating and real, he's fun to listen to. He's a funny guy. He's a good guy, but he's a real world guy. And I love how real world all the presenters were. There was no magic beans. There was no smoke and mirrors. There's no cool guy stuff. There was no like, I'm the most elite everything, and so I can do this and you can't. There was none of that. It was just, the magic is there is no magic, like Mike Pannone says. And then after Ed, we gave away a bunch more free stuff, which was awesome. And then we went right into the protector panel. And the protector panel, I thought was fantastic. We had myself on there, Mark Schultz on there, Christian West also joined us, and then we had our speakers, except Mike Pannone couldn't make it because he had some other training obligations. But then we also had Ed Calderon and Yosef Badu, and we just sat there, and honestly, it was a 2-hour journey of us just fielding questions and speaking with the protectors there and making ourselves available. And I felt like it was a very good conversation. A lot of people said they really appreciated the panel. The panel was, in my opinion, it was really good. It was fantastic because it was just kind of, what does the crowd need? What do the protectors want to know? And whoever thinks they can field that question more efficiently, effectively, boom, got after it. And then we kind of passed the mic around a little bit, and I really felt like that time was well spent with the protectors and the people that came. I feel like it was just really, it was good, because you don't get time like that. You don't get to have a conversation with people that are at this level. You can always DM me, but it takes me a while even to get back through my DMs. So overall, it was just a good opportunity for us to get intimate and answer some questions and have a really high quality conversation around what it takes to be a protector these days. And then once that was over, we kicked it, and for the last day, man, we closed it out with another mixer. I rolled out one other thing, and then after that I rolled out a new product that I'm actually kicking, which is a digital product called the Executive Protection Training Day. And it's essentially everything I know about executive protection designed to help an executive protection agent be successful in the private security industry. So it's not just hard skills, it's soft skills, it's all the different, not just, formations and, all the different things that you usually learn at a school, but it's all the soft skills and social dynamics and the things that I really believe make agents really good at what they do. The things that clients really appreciate. Like, it's good to know how to do the job, but how do you get that extra secret sauce? Why is it that this guy with a way better tactical background, doesn't keep the job, but like little old me, who's just a Marine Corps grunt, I'm only like 5'10", he's able to stay on the job for a while? It's social dynamics, in my opinion. Nonetheless, so I rolled that out for everybody, and that was ultra positive, great response. Took a beta test group. You might want to look into that. I don't know if when you're listening to this, if the beta test group's still available, but I believe it's trainingday.com, and check that out. That's there for you. And then after that, we went on into the evening mixer, the final mixer, after giving more things away, closing it out, and we just spent another couple hours just hanging, getting to know each other, doing media ops. And none other than the Elijah Shaw. He was on his way to a training that he was running on the East Coast, but he actually stopped over, rerouted his flight to come and show his support to the Protector Symposium. So that was an honor, and me and him just chopped it up in the back room. I showed him kind of what we were doing. He hung out with us for a few hours, took a look at the event, and he was impressed with it. That was the feedback I got. And it was good to see, my EP brother out there, just hanging and coming and spending some time with us and making, these protectors, these folks, this gathering of protectors a priority, to the point where he rerouted his flight to come and make an appearance and hang, looking sharp, looking like a professional, being a professional. That really touched me, that he would do that for us and come and spend that time with us, and mingle with everybody and all that stuff, because, nobody's got to do that stuff. And many didn't, so much respect to Elijah Shaw, Sunseer, for that. At the end of the day, when I was rolling out to go to the speaker's dinner at the end of the last night, and I saw everyone in the building enjoying themselves, the mixer was still going, people were still lingering, hanging out. The main bulk of the crowd wouldn't leave. They're down at the bottom of the stairs of the event, still out there in the dark, just talking, and the buzz and everything's just crazy. It was such a beautiful event, and I really hope more of you can join us this next time. We're gonna get more strategic relationships going. There was a number of different law enforcement agencies that made it so that their folks could attend and that they would reimburse them for that. There's security details that made it training op for their folks, that they covered their folks to go. I'm just gonna try to reach out and make those strategic connections and those strategic relationships with this next one, so we can make it even bigger and better, and we can increase the volume of people who come and learn how to be better protectors, how to be better at this sacred art, at this highest expression of service, this highest expression of love, that is protection and protecting the innocent. Honestly, the event was more than I imagined it could be, and I can't wait to do the next one. I will keep y'all posted on when and where it's going to be, but there's definitely more to come. So check out the Protector Nation brand, follow the links, buy the digital product. Buy the video replay so you can get the information in. Give it to people. Give it to people that you care about so they can also benefit from it. And let's link up. I want to see you at the next Protector Nation, at the next Protector Symposium. So get ready, y'all. It's coming. It's Byron Rogers, protector by nature and by trade. Just reminding you to be peaceful, but not harmless. We'll see y'all at the next one. Out.